hall of the Shalari Palace was built to impress every visitor who entered. Its high arches rose like silver wings, and its floor glowed softly under the light of floating crystals. Delegates from dozens of worlds had gathered, each in their finest robes, armor, or ceremonial attire. They had traveled far for one purpose. They came to witness the Shalari princess choose her suitor, a moment that would shape the future of her world and its alliances. The princess stood on the wide platform at the center. Her name was Leora. Her calm eyes swept across the hall. She wore a long gown that shifted from white to pale blue as she moved. Every step made the light dance around her. Despite her graceful appearance, her heart felt heavy. Tradition demanded that she be given to a suitor from another world. Yet none of the suitors had stepped forward so far. Many watched her with interest, but none made a declaration. It was not because she lacked beauty or presence. In truth, many admired her. The problem lay in the history of her people. The Shalari were known for their strict rules and their careful balance between honor and duty. They had high expectations, too high for most. To become the partner of a Shalari royal meant years of commitment, training, and a life lived under constant attention. Many alien suitors felt overwhelmed. Others simply feared they would not be enough. Leora stood with her hands clasped in front of her. Her father, the king, watched from a seat above the hall. He kept his face steady, but inside he felt worry. A union was important for the peace of the region. Without it, their world risked isolation. Still, he remained silent. The choice belonged to Leora and to whoever had the courage to step forward. A messenger approached her and whispered that the first round was coming to an end. Leora nodded and prepared herself. It seemed she would walk away with no suitor at all. The hall grew quiet as the attendants stepped aside. One of the elders lifted a staff and spoke with a loud voice. "Are there any who wish to present themselves before the Princess of Seller and declare their intention?" Silence answered. Rows of alien delegates stood still. Some lowered their eyes. Some shifted uncomfortably. None moved. Leora held her breath for a moment. She had prepared for this possibility, yet the reality still struck her. Then the sound of a single step echoed through the hall. Everyone turned. A young man walked forward. His boots made firm, steady sounds on the glowing floor. His clothes were simple. A dark uniform with a small emblem on the sleeve. He had no grand armor, no shining jewels, no display of wealth or power. He was human. Leora felt a flicker of surprise. Her world had only met humans a few cycles ago. They came from a world called Earth, a place many still considered dangerous due to its history of conflict. Humans were often viewed as unpredictable. Some admired their courage. Others feared their stubborn nature. But none had expected one to step forward here. The man stopped at the base of the platform. He placed a hand on his chest and bowed his head. "My name is Aaron," he said. "I step forward." The hall erupted in whispers. Delegates exchanged looks of disbelief. The Shalari king leaned forward slightly. Leora felt her pulse rise. She studied the human carefully. His posture was respectful. His eyes were steady. He did not show fear. The elder raised his staff again. "Human Aaron," he said, "do you understand the weight of what you are declaring? This path demands loyalty and responsibility. It is not a small choice." "I understand," Aaron replied, "and I still choose to stand here." Another wave of whispering filled the hall, but no one else stepped forward. No other suitor moved. Aaron stood alone. Leora's voice was soft but clear. "Why do you step forward when none others will? You know nothing of me or my world. You know the demands of this role. Why choose this path?" Aaron met her gaze without hesitation. "Because every world needs someone willing to take the first step," he said. "And Because I believe that your world and mine can learn from each other, if no one else is. Willing to try, then I will be. His words were simple, honest. They felt different from the polished speeches Leora had heard from other delegates in the past. She sensed no hidden motive, no attempt to impress, no desire for power, only a quiet kind of strength. Still, she had doubts. She walked down the steps toward him. The hall held its breath as she moved. You are aware, she said, that this is not a ceremonial. You will live here. You will study our ways. You will serve beside me. You will face dangers you do not yet understand humans are. Known for bravery, but also for rushing into things too quickly. Aaron smiled faintly. Then this is a good chance for me to prove that I can be patient too. His answer caught her off guard. She felt a small spark of amusement. She hid it quickly. The moment was too serious. The king rose from his seat. If the princess accepts the declaration, he said, then the human must face the 3 trials. That is the law. Aaron nodded. I am ready. The hall reacted again with disbelief. Leora raised her hand to silence them. The trials were ancient traditions meant to test character, not strength. They were known to reveal the true nature of those who attempted them. Many had failed. Some had refused to even begin. One of the keepers approached with a small tablet of light. It displayed the trials. The first was the trial of clarity. The second was the trial of resolve. The third was the trial of unity. Leora spoke. If you wish to go forward, then we begin now. Each trial will show who you are more than your words can. Aaron bowed his head. Then I will face them. The first trial took place in a chamber beneath the palace. The room was filled with shifting illusions. They responded to the thoughts and fears of the one inside. The purpose was to reveal the clarity of a person's mind, to see if they could hold steady when faced with doubt. Aaron entered without hesitation. The door closed behind him. Leora watched through the observation window. Many inside the hall joined her. The illusions began to form around him. Shadows of failure, sounds of accusation, images meant to shake his confidence. Some saw scenes from their past. Others saw their worst fears. Aaron stood still at first. Then he walked through the illusions calmly. He did not shout or break down. He did not fight the shadows. He simply acknowledged them and kept going. He passed the trial. The second trial took place in a long corridor of light. At the far end was a barrier. It changed shape and resisted every push. Only those with true resolve could find the one path through it. Many believed brute strength mattered, but the truth was patience and focus were the keys. Aaron walked the corridor slowly. He tried many paths. Each time the barrier shifted. He studied it. He adjusted. Minutes passed. Then more minutes. Delegates murmured that he would fail soon. But he did not stop. Finally, he found the narrow opening. He stepped through it. He passed the trial. The third trial was the most important. The trial of unity. It tested whether a suitor could understand the heart of the Shalari people. The suitor had to face a challenge with the princess herself and work with her as an equal. Not a servant, not a ruler, but a partner. Leora stood beside him at the entrance to the trial chamber. She felt a quiet curiosity now. She had expected him to struggle. Instead, he had moved with steady determination. She wondered what kind of human he truly was. Inside the chamber, the floor shifted into a maze. The walls rose high. The light dimmed. The challenge required both participants to reach the center at the same time. If one arrived early or late, the trial would fail. Leora moved into the left path. Aaron moved into the right. The maze changed constantly. It forced them to communicate through sound only. They called out short directions. They warned each other of dead ends. At times they were separated by great distances. At other moments, their paths ran close. Liara found herself surprised by how steady Aaron remained. Even when the maze shifted violently, he kept his voice calm. Even when he was unsure, he admitted it and adjusted. He did not try to dominate the path or take control. He matched her pace. When they finally reached the center, the lights rose again. The walls lowered. The keeper announced that the trial had been completed. He passed the final trial. The hall erupted in stunned discussion as the results were shared. No alien suitor had dared to step forward that day. Yet the human had not only stepped forward, but succeeded in every trial. Liara stood before Aaron again on the main platform. The king approached slowly. The hall grew silent. For the first time in our history, the king said, human has succeeded in the trials of the Solari. If the princess accepts his declaration, then the bond will form. Liara looked at Aaron. For the first time she saw him not as an outsider, but as someone who chose courage over caution. Someone who moved without arrogance. Someone who sought connection rather than gain. She took a slow breath. You came forward when no one else would. Your steps were steady. Your words were honest. You faced every trial with respect. I accept your declaration. The hall erupted. Some in shock. Some in disbelief. Others in admiration. Aaron bowed his head again. Then I will give everything I can to stand beside you. Liara felt a small warmth in her chest. A new beginning was starting. Not only for her, not only for Aaron, but for both their worlds. Humans had been seen as unpredictable and dangerous. Yet this moment showed another truth. Sometimes the strongest alliances began with the courage to take one simple step forward. And on that day, a human was the only one who did.